Hey, everybody, it's Chuck Barone. Tuesday, July the 2nd, 2024. Rolling up to a 4th of July weekend. Loving the 4th, guys. I always have so much fun on the 4th. It's just a huge deal for us. When I was little, it was all about the fireworks. As I grew older, it was still all about the fireworks. Then when the kids came, it was all about the fireworks. And guess what? It's still all about the fireworks. I'm looking forward to Thursday. Um, it's one of my favorite holidays. Just hang out, eat. And it kind of always makes me remember that football's around the corner because once you get past the 4th, you blink your eyes, you got the Hall of Fame game. Next thing you know, the season's rolling. You can tell I'm an NFL guy. Anyway, got a great show today. A lot of stuff to talk about today. Very interesting day today. And let's get rolling. Before I do, though, let me take a second. Welcome everybody to the show. Nice to see all my friends here on the chat, Salty and Wolf and Attila, and we got Mr. T on today. Nice. How you doing, brother? Got Elevate. How you doing, Touchdown Tommy? So it's nice to have everybody here. Alfred, nice to see you. These guys keep this chat going before the show even starts. Kind of cool seeing these guys actually getting to know each other a little bit. It's kind of cool. Anyway, let's talk about these markets today. So today was kind of a weird day. We had a little bit of data today. I was kind of expecting it to be a dead day. We did get the JOLTS report though, which was the job openings report. Came in pretty good actually. Now we got some questions and we'll get into the details of that. We also had Powell in Portugal, central bankers, European central bankers conference. And he had a few things to say, which are always interesting. And then, we got a few other things to talk about here. Of course, one of my pet peeves these days, this tipping culture. Can you believe they're asking people to tip? You go to a self-service thing, buy yourself a sandwich or whatever, and the machine asks if you want to tip it. Frickin' machine. You gotta love that. Anyway, we'll talk a little more about that during the show. So let's talk about the markets today. Markets rallying up. Everybody feeling like everything's moving perfectly into place, which it kind of is, for Powell to start cutting rates now sooner rather than later. Inflation numbers still not on target and have never really approached target yet. 2.6 is the big celebration number right now. But all the data seems to imply we're heading toward recession or close to a recession. Jobs kind of slowing down, although JOLTS shows openings up today. So the market's rallied. Stock market jumps up the Dow up 162 points, 39,331. So you're going to see Dow 40,000 soon enough, right? The NASDAQ jumps 149 points, now over 18,000, 18,028 on the NASDAQ. And the S&P, another new record for the market, S&P up 33 points, 5,509. Got a little bit of interesting data on that S&P number. We'll talk about a little later in the show too. Bond market today, prices up, yields coming down a little bit. 10-year at 4.44%, down 5 basis points. 2-year down 3 basis points at 4.74. So the spread widening out a little bit. Now they're talking about the yield curve kind of getting it's not going to stay inverted much longer, they don't believe. And now they're talking about a steepening at the higher end, which of course would not be great for mortgage, but that's kind of what bond traders are starting to look into pricing into this market. The dollar today, down 14 basis points, but still at 105.70. So a good strong number on the index. Dollar still the champ as far as the currencies in that index. Precious metals today had kind of a weird mixed day. Gold down $2.40, sitting at $2,330.20. Silver up 8 cents, $29.59 for an ounce of silver. So it looks like they're kind of stalling here. Silver looks like it's getting ready to make another run at $30. Hopefully it breaks through and can stay there. That would really be good news for us, right? Gold kind of just stalling out here around 2,300 and change. It goes up a couple bucks, comes back a couple bucks. hopefully we'll get the gold train rolling again. And especially as the dollar, it looks like they're going to press to bring the dollar down a little bit. If the dollar starts to come down, you'll see gold take off again. Oil today down 28 cents, down small, still at $83.10 per barrel, way too high. Hopefully oil will, the demand, the oil prices are rising not because of big demand, not because there's really any supply problems. Oil prices moving because of tensions in the Middle East, which is just like what the oil lobby uses to get prices up, just like the gun lobby uses. They're coming for your gun, so everybody goes out and buys a new gun and buys tons of ammunition. Kind of a marketing thing that they've seen works. They push that button and the sales go. Bitcoin today down $1,321, 61,926 for Bitcoin. Certainly not for the faint of heart, man. That prices have just been whipsawing all over the place. The trend right now is kind of hanging in there. Bitcoin under 60,000, bounces back up. Now we're going to see the test is going to come. I'm sure there's going to be a challenge to see if it's going to hold 60,000. If it does, it probably means a rally coming. If it doesn't, look out below, right? All right, so let's talk about some data today. We got the JOLTS report, the job openings report. Job openings jumped higher. Job openings, well, these are openings, postings for jobs. Up now, back up over 8 million, 8.1 million. That's from 7.9 million last month. Now, last month's number was a 3-year low for job openings. Remember, we had over 12 million for a while. Now, this is something we've always talked about on the show, saying, you know, what are these jobs? Who are these jobs? Now we can add in, are they even real, right? Now, openings peaked in 2022 at over 12 million. Now, the interesting news, we know, I talked about this, what was it, yesterday or the day before, how businesses are posting fake job openings they never intend to fill, kind of fishing to see if they can get a really, really good candidate, but just going fishing, not anything more. So now you got these fake job postings, and then you add in, out of these 8 million jobs, how many of these jobs are minimum wage jobs or jobs that are less than desirable? Is that a nice way of saying it? You know, tough labor jobs that not a lot of people can fill. I wonder really what this, they tell us this JOLTS number, but they don't really tell us, at least what I saw today what I saw in the report. I didn't actually read the report itself, just the analysis of it. And they didn't break it down like where are these job openings, but when you see these job openings go up like this, typically hospitality, restaurants, bars, hotels, healthcare. And these jobs, typically not looking for a lot of executives in healthcare or hospitality. They want the grunts, the people that do the hard stuff, the people that do the low wage stuff. That's usually where the openings are. So that was an interesting number today. Does it really lead us to believe anything on Friday? Because Friday we're going to get the jobs report. That's the data of the week, right? That's what everybody's waiting for. Interesting, they're going to release that on the day after the 4th of July when the whole world is going to be sleeping. I think that, you know, in finance, kind of the way things work, when a holiday falls like on a Thursday like the 4th does, the way it's going to work is halfway through Wednesday, everybody's checking out. In markets reflecting this, because the market's going to close tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So everybody knows everybody's checking out early. So they're going to leave early Wednesday. They're going to have the 4th off, party, fireworks, barbecues, booze. Now Friday rolls around. Are they going to go back to the office from the Hamptons or from wherever they're at? The Wall Street guys? Probably not. So Friday, I'm guessing, will be a pretty quiet day on Wall Street. I'm going to be here to do the show, but not a lot happening in mortgage anyway. So I'll have kind of a running 4.5 day weekend going, which is okay. And that's probably the way most of the world's going to play it. So it's interesting that they're going to post the jobs report on that day. If you're going to dump bad news, that's the day to dump it, right? Okay, so we had Powell today. in Portugal at this central bankers meeting, talking about how encouraged he is by the inflation numbers we've gotten in the last two PCE. Now, the press, of course, goes crazy. Well, what about a rate cut in July? What about a rate cut in September? He didn't really want to answer anything specifically like that. But what Powell did say, he said he's encouraged by the inflation numbers, but would need to see more evidence. They've been saying this forever. Would need to see more evidence before beginning rate cuts. He said that, here's the quote, readings suggest that we are getting back on a disinflation path. Now, disinflation is different than deflation, right? Deflation, prices going down. Disinflation, meaning inflation not bringing prices up. So they're trying to get away, obviously. They don't want deflation. That's scary to central bankers because their assets lose value. But trying to create, obviously, the situation getting back under 2%. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Was that like that era of super low inflation like that? It's not like the Fed wasn't pumping money into the system the whole time. They were saying, actually, they were worried about deflation for a while there. They were actually pumping money into the system to drive inflation numbers higher. What do you think? Was that like a Goldilocks thing there where it was like, I don't know, the perfect environment for it? And now we're out of that and it's too cold? I don't know. Crazy. Powell declined to answer questions about September. Now the market's rate factoring in a rate cut in September, more than 60%, yes. So we'll see. Now, I doubt that's going to happen. But I've been saying on the show for a long time, maybe one cut in December, a meaningless cut because it really won't do anything. But he did not say yes to cuts in September. And he went on to say that the Fed can afford to be patient given the strong jobs market, how the jobs are still good but not red hot, which forces wages much higher. So Powell is actually going to, he's got it all going his way right now. He said that the Fed has made a lot of progress in the fight. Well, I guess if you consider that they made the mess to begin with, yeah, they've made some progress in cleaning that mess up. It took us from the perfect low inflationary environment to over 9%. Now they're trying to get us back down to 2%, having difficulty doing it. But they've made a lot of progress, guys. Thank you, St. Jerome. We appreciate it. All right. More data today. Interesting. S&P breaks a record today, right? S&P record high. Listen to this, guys. 73% of the S&P 500 gain this year. So there's 500 stocks in the S&P 500. 73% of the gains in that S&P 500 have been 10 stocks. So if you're looking to invest in the stocks, this might be a decent place to start. Ready? NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Facebook, Eli Lilly, Alphabet, Google, Apple, Broadcom, Berkshire Hathaway, JP Morgan. Sounds like a pretty solid portfolio. And those 10 stocks, 73% of a record high S&P 500. So when you talk about the broader market, like I like to think the S&P broader market, 500 stocks, great, you can do that, but the gains are over here with 10 stocks. Interesting. All right, let's talk about tips, guys. Is anybody feeling like I am? They're about sick of all this tipping stuff, man, right? The other day, my wife and I were hungry, wanted a pizza. I got a nice Italian pizza joint around the corner here. We went there. So, guys, it's $25 frickin' for a cheese pizza these days, right? And you walk in, I don't have them deliver. I go pick it up. The lady hands me the pizza. Okay, time to pay, debit card. And boom, there's the tip thing. And she's looking at you like a puppy. Hey, hi, And it's like, should they get a tip for that? For handing the pizza over the counter to me? Now, I always tip something. even if it's only $1. I always tip something. But I don't really feel like I'm doing it because I feel like I have to than I really want to. That is not something I would ordinarily tip for, right? So what are tips? In my mind, you got waitresses and bartenders, right? You got the guy at the car wash who does your car, right? Just services like that, personal services. That's where you tip. Somebody hands you a friggin' pizza over a counter. That's not a tip. You go to a kiosk. Next thing you know, they're going to be asking for tips at DMV and frickin' everything else. So I tell you, this is just a scam by corporate America so that employees can make more money and they don't have to pay. You do. You do. And who knows how much of these tips are actually getting to the employees themselves, right? Because if you're using your debit card like I do, well, the money goes to the boss and then he distributes it. As if he laying himself in for a piece of it. Reminds me of the old Steve Wynn tale here in Las Vegas. You know, Steve Wynn, genius, brilliant guy, wanted to give all the floor men in the casino a raise. But of course, he didn't want to pay it. He didn't want it to affect his earnings or his bottom line or his stock price. So here's genius. He said, what we'll do is we'll cut the floor men in on the dealer's tips. Now they got sued and lost. But for a couple of years while they slugged it out in court, the boxmen were getting the tips from the dealers. This is corporate, the corporate thing, right? How can I give my people more at the same time, not pay it out of my own pocket or the company's? And I think that's where we're at with this tip racket, guys. It's just a load. I hate it. And I'm sure you guys do, man. I mean, it just seems like they want tips for everything. I told you, the guy at the kiosk, you put your money in the kiosk you pull a sandwich out, and now the machine wants a gratuity. What in the hell is that? What's freaking next, guys? Get it for the day, guys. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll get a little bit of data in tomorrow. We'll get probably a little bit of foreshadowing of what we're going to get on Friday. We'll be back tomorrow to bring you the news you need. Hopefully it'll be an interesting day tomorrow, other than politically. And everybody have a great day. Appreciate everybody on the chat. Nice to have everybody over here. And we'll be back tomorrow, guys, to bring you the news you need. In the meantime, everybody take care. Thanks.